Okay, welcome to Movers and Makers, virtual chat series brought to you by Low Key Arts here in Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. It gives me great pleasure to welcome my guest today, Alexa Dirks. Thank you. You've taken the initiative to do that thing on the screen.
Of course, I
Uh,
try.
should I call you Alexa or should I call you Begonia?
I think Begonia for the sake of the
Okay,
fact that I'm performing as Begonia.
very well. Are you where are you beaming to us live from?
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
You're in Winnipeg. Okay, so you're not yet on tour.
No, I'm not. I go on tour starting Wednesday. But right now
Okay.
I'm staring at a window where the snow is like this high at the window sill because it's snowing like crazy around here.
You were scheduled to play. I'll jump right into it here. VOV talk. I'm not sure how familiar you are with VOV, the Valley of the Vapors Independent Music Festival.
Familiar in the sense that some really good friends of mine, Royal Canoe, have played it before.
Okay.
And they spoke very highly of it. And that's as familiar. And then I was supposed to play it.
Now, you were supposed to play in 2020.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we very regrettably had to pull the plug about a week out.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people here were disappointed that they missed you and are excited that you're coming back. So I guess the obvious question now, how have the last couple of years been for you? Having the rug pulled out from under you like everyone else.
Yeah, well, exactly like everyone else, right? It's like affected us all, I think, in different ways. I definitely don't feel like I have a unique scenario in any way, but I was in New York on tour when everything was kind of pulled and we had to make the decision because there was a New York gig that was supposed to happen. It was like, are we going to play it? Are we not? And we're like, it was like March 12th and we were watching the news and we were like, this feels weird, man. This feels very weird. So we just decided we're going to go back to Canada. And then everything was canceled like within a couple days. And then it kept kind of feeling like, well, okay, all the drive all the way back to Canada was just like so surreal. And every truck stop we'd stop at, people would be like, are you looking for toilet paper? And we'd be like, it was just like the toilet paper apocalypse was going on at that point. So it was just like feeling it from state to state, going back to Canada. We were like, what is happening? There was a car engulfed in flames on the side of the road, completely unrelated, but still felt very like,
yeah.
What is happening? So that was a little weird. Got home, was like, oh, cool. I haven't had a day off in a long time. This will be okay, even though the impending doom of the world is like thinking about that. Not as cool, but like maybe a day off. That's kind of cool. And then it turned into 2 years off the road, essentially. And I seem maybe bright and cheery right now, but there was some dark times.
Understandable.
Yeah, it was like I was not one of those people that like I know there were a lot of memes going around at the beginning that were just like, remember, this is when artists can rise up and like write their best work. And like William Shakespeare wrote blah, 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 during the Spanish flu or whatever. And I was looking at that and I was like, I'm depressed. I'm not, this isn't when I'm going to rise up and like write my greatest work. Like I really had a lot to work through that I had been on the road so consistently for my whole adult life that it was like the first time really that I was this slowed down with nothing on the calendar, nothing to kind of show for. So there's a lot to work through, but I do feel that I'm in a very excited headspace, a way better headspace now.
Prior to going solo in 2017, I think you were for many years a member of a touring ensemble group.
Yes.
Chic Amin, is that am I saying that right?
No, you had it. Trust yourself. You had it.
Amin, okay. And tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was like my first foray into touring. I started touring with them when I was 18. And that was like my first, like just graduated high school, was playing in bars and then kind of plucked from that to join this band. And we started touring and we toured consistently for like 8 years. And then it was just like we were this democratic band of different people living different lives. And then things just started to show itself. It was an amicable enough breakup, but a breakup nonetheless, and something to grieve. And like you're in a band, there's something so unique about touring with people and getting to know people so intimately like that. It's a bond. And that was something that I definitely had to get used to. I was in bands all my life, and then suddenly I was there with a decision to make. Like, am I going to go forward with a solo career? Am I just going to take a time to pause? But I was in such a mode of like, I can't stop, because in my mind, part of me was like, if I stop, maybe I won't start again. Like I was nervous that and I had this thing in my mind, like, if I don't do it now, like me 20 years from now would be like, just go, do it.
Right.
So I just had this fire under my ass to just like make something happen. And Begonia, at first, I came up with the name because I wasn't sure if it was going to be a band or if it was just going to be me. And so I wasn't going to put my name, like Alexa Dirks is my name. And also I thought it sounded a bit country, and I'm not a country. And I'm also glad I didn't put Alexa. Like, I love my name and everything, but Amazon kind of took over my.
Oh, right, of course.
So everywhere I go,
ruined that name. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It's like Alexa, like it's a cool, like I'm proud of it and everything, but But yeah, I thought it was maybe going to be a band, and then it just slowly revealed that this was me on my own, doing my own thing, and the rest is history. And now I'm going to Valley of the Vapors.
You sure are. Did you grow up in music? You say you've been in bands your whole life. That sounds like someone who was encouraged maybe by the family.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any musician examples in my life growing up. My dad is a visual artist. My mom is a bank teller. Like, we didn't grow up with a ton of money. It's not like I had all of these opportunities. Like, but I definitely had. My dad was definitely an example of living an alternative lifestyle.
Okay, good.
And we listened to a lot of music growing up, and I was just a very eager kid, and I definitely tried out for any solo, any musical, like would just be involved in anything I could. And then was singing a lot in the church, which is something I don't necessarily do as much now, but that's what I grew up kind of a part of. And then met a lot of players that I ended up playing in bars with and being relatively excommunicated with in the church. We started as little wieners together, and then kind of grew up and we're like, let's play cover music. Right. And then started playing in bars on the weekends. On the weekdays, really thought we made it, playing till 3 a.m, 3 sets in front of nobody. That was my life for a while, but yeah.
In preparation for our chat today, I had intended on Googling Winnipeg's list of musical noteworthy names, and I forgot.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Who might we have heard of from Winnipeg? Because I can't.
Winnipeg, always forgotten. Joey Landreth, the Bros Landreth. I don't know.
Okay.
They're kind of making waves.
Okay.
Internationally, Royal Canoe, that band who played Valley of the Vapors before.
Yep, sure.
I mean, the Guess Who. Have you ever heard of the Guess Who?
Oh, yeah, the Guess Who. They're from there?
Yeah.
Really? They're from Winnipeg?
Yeah, Bert Cummings. There's a theater named after him, a community center near my house.
Wow. Okay. That's certainly a landmark of classic rock, if nothing else. Yeah.
The Guess Who else is from here? Chantal Kreviazuk. Have you heard of her?
I haven't.
I'm trying to think of like more. Everyone says that Neil Young lived here, but I think there was a house that he maybe was in for a brief period of time. I feel like a lot of different places claim him, and we're like, he's from Winnipeg. I can't corroborate that 100%, but right now, Taylor Jansen, there's a lot of up and coming artists in Winnipeg right now. I feel like there's a very exciting crew of musicians. Whereas maybe years ago would have been moving away from here to Montreal or Toronto or LA or New York, whereas that is still happening, but a lot more people are deciding to stay here and be a part of the community and it more. And I feel inspired by that.
That's exciting. I think there's a trend towards that here in the States too, with maybe COVID has played a role in that as well. People not so eager to live in the big cities anymore, and sort of reigniting things in places that have maybe cooled for a while.
Definitely.
It's always fascinating to me here in Arkansas doing this festival, just how many Canadian artists come here every year.
I love that.
I mean, it's really remarkable. I mean, there's some years like this year where it's nearly half the artists are Canadian.
Okay.
And I don't know if you are aware of that necessarily or not. I don't know why you would
know that. I wonder, like, so maybe there'll be some people I know. I got to look on the roster. I
I
don't
bet there
know.
probably are some people you know. I would be surprised if there weren't, actually.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things about the festival.
Oh,
Like when I
well.
was telling my pals from Royal Canoe, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is on my tour schedule." They're like, "Oh, yeah, that one. Very cool.
Oh, well,
Very."
how nice to hear that. That's so great. We certainly go out of our way to make the artists happy who come and
I
make it
love
worth
that.
their while. Was your the tour that got canceled in 2020 when you were in New York? Would that have been your first visit to South by Southwest?
With Begonia, yeah, I had
Okay.
been there a few times with my old band, but with as Begonia, yeah, it was the first time. And yeah, that was like basically we were driving to New York, had just crossed the border and had played a show in Niagara Falls. We're driving to New York, and then my manager called and was like, "How far out are you?" We're like, "An hour."
Oh
He's like,
no.
he's like, "Okay, so you don't have to turn around. You can come to the Airbnb.
Oh,
We're here." But South by's canceled. It was just like all the like it just kept kind of getting and then last year it just seemed inevitable that it wasn't gonna happen. So and I'm curious because I have been before like multiple times, and it is a wild place to be.
so you had been there a few times with
Yeah.
Shaking then, and so it tends to be a little bit of a trial by fire, I think, for some
Oh
artists.
man, I've
But,
had some highs and some lows. Like, like in teen dramas, like the scene where someone's like, "You ruined my life," and the teen slams the door and they put their back on the door and then they slide down and they're crying. I've done that for the
wow.
first time at South by after a showcase in a hotel lobby in the bathroom. I just was like, "Oh!" Was like, "Can it ever get any worse?" And then I've had some of the most fun showcases, like fun times just roaming the streets, like getting shoes from a there was like a Converse party and got shoes from a tree, like just like whatever. Like I've had such mystical, but most of the amazing memories were just like fun times with
Mhm.
like and there's been some good industry things to like come out of it and stuff, but
Sure.
I feel like that's the advice if I ever like talk to anyone going for the first time. It's like don't expect just throw your expectations out the window. Just go play the best show you can play, but don't go there being like, I'm gonna get famous or like I'm gonna like don't hinge everything on your career. You just have to go with an open mind. Because
I think
also
that's
like
good advice.
the parking your van too, man, it can be so demoralizing. Rolling around, being like almost late for your gig, just going around this like there's nowhere to park.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. You need a designated parking person in the van.
Yeah, you do.
Which brings me to my next question. Do you tour with a band, or you tour solo?
With a band.
You,
Yeah.
okay. The videos I've all seen with you of you performing. Obviously, you're backed by other human beings,
Yes.
and so that's okay. That makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense.
I kinda have, like, I write all of my music with Matt Schellenberg and Matt Peters from Royal Canoe, the band, we're very good friends, we write all my music together, and then
Okay.
I travel with a different outfit of live
Okay.
musicians that are kinda my people that I've been traveling with for a while. And yeah, but I love that collaborative energy. It's like even though I'm the only person in this interview right now or the only person on the poster or whatever, I just collaborating is such a huge part of me. Like I can't
Yeah.
see myself. I'm not necessarily the kind of artist that could just throw a guitar in the back of the van and go alone across
Sure.
the country. That's not really my energy. More power to the people that can do that. But
And I think you're following in the tradition of many other artists who trade on their own name or stage name or what have you, but are reliant on any number of collaborators.
oh yeah. And it's like we all feed off each other. Like I just feel like it makes everything better. Like I could do it alone, but I don't want to. I,
Sure.
it's like the joy of it for me is the fun, the adventure. Like making the art is the hugest part of it, and then just experiencing it with people, being like, "Are we doing this right now?" Like that's like some of the most. That's the joy that's the most joy I experience is sharing it with other people. Yeah,
That's
if
awesome.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So you put out your first solo LP came out in 2019. That was Fear.
Mhm.
What's on the horizon for you in 2022?
There's another one coming.
There is another one. Good.
Yeah, but it's just, it's took a minute to figure it out, to put it together. Like I said earlier, it's like I definitely took some time to not make stuff when the pandemic started. So this wasn't a rush job by any means. I mean, I had some demos on the back burner pre-pandemic that I ended up digging back into and just different things, but like there probably won't be I probably won't be talking much about it for another few months, but yeah, there's definitely more music coming out very soon.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. And beyond this tour of the States coming up and coming down to our neck of the woods, you have, it might be too early to tell, I suppose, but you have intentions of being elsewhere in the world this year?
Oh, yeah, I wanna go everywhere. Whatever feels good. I mean, I want, like, definitely, I want I love touring, like, it's one of my favorite things in the world, and I feel like
Sure.
I wanna do it as much as possible, as safe as possible, as community-minded as possible. We're dipping our toe in here in March, and we're going down to the US, and I mean, it's gonna feel like I told my guys already, like, when we cross the border, like, I will cry. Like, there will be a lot of crying, and you're gonna have to just know that, because I just feel like I'm gonna be overcome with emotion that we're actually doing this again, like,
Sure.
and I always said, like, at the beginning of the pandemic, I don't need to be a trailblazer or like the guinea pig to like go back right at the beginning when it doesn't feel safe. And I feel like we're just sussing it out. This is like we're just figuring this out as we go. Like we're trying to do it as again like safe and community minded as possible. And if it feels right and it feels good, I want to go everywhere. I want to do it all. Like we have a little Canadian tour in May opening for Shaky Craves.
Okay.
And then we have some dates in the summer, just festivals and stuff. And I'm just, yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, as they say.
That's probably a wise approach anymore.
That's how
Have you been to Arkansas before?
driven through it,
You
but
have? Okay.
but
Oh,
I've driven
okay.
through it like on the way to like New Orleans
Memphis.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never fully like I haven't played in Arkansas.
Okay. Well, we're excited to change that.
I'm excited too. I've just heard such good things, and I feel like, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Well, it will be fun. I can virtually guarantee it.
Okay.
We take great pride in our town and in our festival and our ability to put a smile on the faces of the artists who make the effort to come and be part of it.
I
So
love it.
thank you so much for being being part of VOV this year. We're very excited to welcome you here in a few weeks, and
Yay.
so grateful to you for your time this morning where you are,
Of course.
and look forward very much to seeing you do your thing
Thank you.
live on stage here in Hot Springs in just a couple of short weeks.
Can't wait.
So Begonia, I thank you very much, and hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And we'll be seeing you very soon.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.